The Kraken Sports Hydra 15,000 WRGBU underwater video light is the top Hydra video light in the lineup. We had the awesome opportunity to take this light diving during our underwater photo workshop in Socorro, Mexico. We captured some amazing video, particularly wide-angle video, so check it out. Hey guys, this is Nirupam with the Underwater Photography Guide and Blue Water Photo. Now, today marks a sad day for me because it's been a month and I have to now give back my Kraken 15,000 WRGBUs. They were gracious enough to loan me the lights for this review. And I was able to dive in Socorro, the Revillagigedo Archipelago, for a full week of diving with these lights. And man, they're powerful and they did the job for sure, especially when I was filming wide-angle video. I've also been able to try them out just at night, and it's like bringing the sun underwater during night dives here in the Pacific Northwest. So it's been pretty fun shooting with these lights, and they really mark the highest end solutions in the Kraken Hydra line for underwater video shooters, and I highly recommend them. If you are a dedicated underwater video shooter, for wide angle videography, these lights are perfect. So let me get into some of the features of the light. And then I can talk a little bit more about my experience. You guys already saw my video, and I'm pretty stoked about how it turned out. So anyway, as you can tell just off the bat, these lights are big. You buy these lights because you need power. And the only way to get power is a large battery. So let me open up the light just to show you guys the battery. This battery packs a punch. At full power, at 15,000 lumens, it is an hour-long burn time, but you should be aware that it does take 7 hours to charge this baby, so you will probably want a spare battery if you're a dedicated video shooter, which we also sell at Blue Water Photo along with this light. I did get along fine because I did shoot a hybrid of photo and video. I got along fine with one battery for my trip, but if you're not a photo shooter as well and you're just a video shooter, you might want to consider packing an extra battery. So the beam angle from this light is 120 degrees. I'm gonna pump down the brightness. So yeah, it's 120 degrees. That's pretty wide underwater. Most video lights aren't as wide as 120 degrees. You can see here that they have a dome that's built in, so that really helps disperse the light. There's no hot spots. It's really soft, really even, and it's actually a really nice color temperature. Let me check real quick. I think the color temperature is 5,600 degrees Kelvin. I really like that temperature. It's a little bit on the colder side of things, and I think it's a really nice, accurate color representation of the underwater subjects. The CRI rating is 90, so that also is a very high rating. That means that basically the colors that come from this light are very true to life. 100 would be colors from the sun, 90 is pretty dang good. So this 15,000 lumen beam, that's 120 degrees, is controlled by this single button and dial control on the back of the light. It moves in 5% increments. So I find that to be very specific because you can really control and dial down exactly how much light you're putting out there. And the nice thing is you have this LCD screen right on the back, and that tells you exactly how much battery life you have left and what power you're at. So it's really nice just to be able to look at the back of your lights and be like, oh, okay, I know. I'm at, I have 100 minutes left in my dive. And like I said, at full power, this lasts about an hour. And if you're shooting at lower powers, your burn time is going to be much, much longer, in the 5 hours or so range if you're actually at the lower end of the burn. So running through some of the settings, the reason that this is called a WRGBU light is because it has a lot of different colors. So a red light is great for sneaking up on subjects that can't see red underwater. It can be great when you're on a night dive and you're just trying to get around and you don't want things to come up in your field of view. You don't want things to be swimming all around you attracted to your light. So red lights are really useful, but I don't really use it. You could use it for creative lighting, I don't. But this light is actually great if you're a photographer and you want to use it for backlighting and creative lighting. The next color is green. Again, this is kind of a creative thing. You could use it in different types of video for creative underwater video. Blue light is very, very useful, and it's useful for viewing fluorescence. So that's an underwater phenomenon where if you show blue light to some animals, they actually will respond by producing yellow or green or red light, and that's called fluorescence. So you can view fluorescence using the blue light and take fluorescent photos and videos, which turn out to be really cool. If you've never seen them, they look like these crazy neon videos and photos. The next color is, I guess that's purple or UV. And then finally there is an RGB mode, and you can use this RGB mode to select what color in the spectrum you want. So this light can really produce any color that you would want for creative backlighting or creative video. Now, another cool feature of the light, like any Hydra light, the light is equipped with a burst port, so you can actually hook up a fiber optic cable that connects to your camera, and this light will output 18,000 lumens of power. And that is a lot of power. I actually had one guest on my workshop to Socorro who lost her strobe. So she actually took one of these lights and was able to shoot wide angle photos with this light with the 18,000 burst mode. And it was actually pretty decent as a strobe. I mean, I really like the colors that came from her photos, and you can see some of her photos in this video. So I was pretty pleased to see that, and I think if you're a dedicated video shooter but you need something and you want something that can act as a strobe every once in a while, this will do the trick. I didn't used to say that about Hydra lights because I thought it wasn't quite enough power, but 18,000 lumens I think is enough power for a lot of photos. Now, I did leave something important out. You might be wondering how deep you can go with the light. You can go 100 meters or 330 feet. So that's going to be within most recreational divers' depths and also many technical divers' depths. So for most people, this will be a sufficient light for going pretty decently deep, and it should be good for most situations. It's got a nice hard metal case around the light, so you really don't have to worry about damaging it. I've taken it on a lot of dives, and honestly, if I look closely, I don't believe I really see a single scratch. So that's pretty cool. There's a couple of tiny, tiny scuff marks, but I mean, we're talking about, dozens of dives on this, and it looks almost new. This could pass off for being new, so that's pretty cool. If you do happen to flood the light by any chance, it's pretty hard to do. I haven't done a Kraken light yet myself, there is a double O-ring seal, but if it does flood, the head of the light and the battery compartment are sealed separately, so you should just be able to replace your batteries and be able to be good to go for the next dive. Now, when it comes to accessories, the lights are compatible with the Kraken Universal Remote Control, and that's great for being able to turn your lights on and off just by touching a button that's right next to your housing instead of having to reach up and turn them on and turn them off. But I have to admit, the dial on the back and the OLED display makes it really easy to just reach up and adjust it too, so you might not need a Kraken remote, but if you're a dedicated video shooter, you might want to consider it. Finally, the package does come with a nice charging block. It's got 2 USB-C ports and a USB-A port, and it also comes with a USB-C cable. Like I said, the charging time is a little bit longer, 7 hours, so you want to plan for that. You want to kind of charge it overnight in between dives. But with all this power, that makes sense. So I wanted to conclude this video with just some of my final thoughts on the light's performance and really what I used it for when I was underwater. I tried to do some filming with just one light, and when I was in Socorro, I found that it was actually kind of difficult because having this heavy light at the top of your housing can be kind of tough. I realized that you really want these lights on arms if possible. That being said, I was actually able to take photos and keep this light on the top of my camera and do both photos and professional video all in one go. So you can do it, and underwater it's not too bad, but it's just something to keep in mind. I actually kind of like having this light on arms instead of mounted right to the top of your housing. So that's a little bit different from other Hydra lights, but if you shot solar flare minis, you know what I'm talking about. Now, when I had 2 lights, it was super, super bright. It was perfect for shallow water video where it's really sunny, or just really sunny days when you're trying to shoot towards the sun and take video. Now, the lights are so bright that you just want to be careful, not to scare away animals, because that can happen when they're that bright. So the nice thing is you've got this turn dial, so you can turn up the brightness when you need to take that shot and then turn it back down. And generally it worked pretty well. You'll just want to be really careful of who you're diving with when you're at full power. You also don't want to blind people around you. So it's definitely enough light to get colors almost as good as my photography itself in your video, and I thought that's pretty cool. Taking video the same way I take photos is kind of my dream. It's my goal when I'm taking video. My style of videography is I like to have bright video lights that really bring out the colors, make it pop, and have a nice background contrasting with that. So these video lights do the trick. This is what I would get from my style of videography. In the future, I know Kraken's planning on coming out with some blue filters, which should be nice if you want to do some ambient light shooting and do some manual white balances that way with ambient light filters for these guys. So definitely reach out to us if you have any questions about ambient light filters and you want to get those. Currently, the ambient light filters that work on the Kraken 8000 don't work on these guys, so they're going to have to develop new ones for that. And finally, let's talk price. So we have these guys listed at $10.99, which I think is an incredible price for a 15,000 lumen light. That's unheard of until this year, really. I think the technology's really progressed when it comes to having as much power in a light as possible. If you need that much power without all these features, if you don't need the WRGBU features, you can actually get pretty much the same light at 15,000 lumens, called the Kraken Solar Flare Mini 15,000, and we sell those as well, and that's $7.99. So if you just need the power and you don't need all the extra features, that's also a good option to look at, and that's definitely probably the best bang for your buck when it comes to lumens per dollar on the market. So with that, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Reach out to us at sales@bluewaterphotostore.com. And I hope to see you guys diving, and I can't wait to see what videos these lights produce.